Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chat with Coach King. Chat with Coach King is brought to you by the Outreach Program of Coach King, and it's done every Saturday at 11 o'clock Liberia time. It's a very good uh, session with Coach King because he gives you an opportunity to chat with him and discuss anything that you may be facing in your life, in your school life. So this is something that he does. He does it free of charge, with no expectation for any money from you at all. All he wants to do is help you to be able to face the challenging times that exist in Liberia and beyond. So I'm here and I'm inviting you to chat with me. Chat with me. You can put any questions you have in the chat box or type it right on your screen and I will get it and I will answer you. Well, we have now come to certain stages in our presentation. From time to time, we speak on different topics. And the school year, school calendars, your homework assignments, a lot of issues are facing Liberia. And you, youth members, are the future of Liberia. You must also understand that there has to be, you have to make sure that you have a focus on what it is that you want in life, what it is that you want to achieve in your lifetime. And I can help you show your way to how to develop your pathway to success, your pathway to your goals, your aspirations that you have in your life. Now, one of the many issues, of course, that I see in our Liberian society is that the youth, the masses just don't know how to think. You just don't know how to think. You know what to think. My goodness, everybody know what to think. And I'm not here to teach anybody or to change anyone um, what to think. What to think is your business. I'm here to teach you, help you learn how to teach, how to learn, how to think, how to think. That is what I'm here for, to teach you how to think. Now, a lot of people will come to you and tell you something, and right away you believe the person because they're from your same tribe, because they're your brother, your sister. Now you say, but Coach King, if I can't trust my brother and sister, who can I trust? I didn't talk about trust. I talk about checking and verifying what you are told. When you are told something, especially when it's going to help you make a decision that will affect your future and the future of everybody else in life. This is what you don't do. So I want you to understand how to ask questions. Not just because someone is your same tribe and member, so therefore everything he tells you is true. I'm sorry, it's not so. Because if you think that because a person is in your tribe, he's incapable of lying, telling a lie. Some do, but not everyone does. So that's why you can't just take it for granted. You have to verify what the person says to you. Like I want you to verify everything I'm saying to you. And you verify something by talking to someone with a higher sense of understanding of consciousness, someone who has the experience and background and knowledge to share with you. That's what you do. See? So the more and more you learn this practice, the more and more you become more aware, more confident in yourself. So when you stand up, you can discuss an issue instead of resorting to petty character assassinations when you have no knowledge about what they're talking about. So if someone tells you something, you have to look at it in its context, meaning at the time something was taking place, what was the conditions of the environment? What was the conditions of the people at that time? What was the condition as it relates to world history? The world, what was happening in the world around you at the time? For example, back in the 1930s, you had the World War. You had the First World War. Then you have the Second World War. So what was happening in the world at that time? You say, well, there should have been some development in the country way back in the 1919s and 1918 and 1930s. Yes, you can talk it. Someone will come and tell you something, oh, there was no development. But now let's think it through. What existed in the world at that time? That's how you look at the context in which something was said and something was done. In that particular time, did you have a World Bank? Did you have did you have the development in the social sciences? Did you have development in science? How far? So if you expect to use your thinking from today, or as of today, what you know today now, and want to use that as what a person should have done in 1930s, in 1918. Oh, how can that be? Because that what you are thinking of now did not exist at that time. But still, people will come and tell you something like that, and you say, yeah, there was no development way back in that. They didn't do this, they didn't lay out this, they didn't lay the pipes, they didn't do the city planning. Do you know what they came with? Do you know the people who existed in those days, what they had available to them? You didn't have tractor trailers, you didn't have bulldozers in those days. No, they didn't. So lots and lots of things went on. And I'm not here to teach history. I want you to learn how to think. This is my issue. Once you learn how you think, you know, no one controls you no more. You make your own decisions and you stand by your decision. So how do you make decisions? By asking questions. By asking questions. How do you make decisions? You have to ask questions. And questions and questions and questions until you are satisfied that you got the right answer. Oh, if man comes and speaks his dialect to you, right away you jump out. Whoa, that's true. What's true? You don't know a doggone thing about what the man is talking to you about. You heard it. Oh yeah, your friend came and tell you, oh, you know that man that you were talking to. Your friend who come tell you that, where did you hear it from? Ask him. Question him. Where you say you heard it at? How do you know? Did you verify from somebody else? What tribe are you? Are you using that as a premise or a basis for you to say yes, the man is talking truth because he's from your same tribe or he's talking the same dialect? Yeah. Anyone can lie, not everyone. I said anyone can if they want to. You see, so that's how you look at things in a simplistic form, in context. But there are other aspects when you go deeper: how, when, where, why, who, and what happened. You have to ask those questions to yourself and seek to get answers. Don't let the man say, oh, my man, you won't go read it. It's in so and so book. But if you say it's in so and so book, ask him what page. If he read it, sometimes people read other people's information, and when they quote a book, they say, oh, yeah, on so and so book. But they themselves never read the book, don't know what they're talking about. So you don't know, he don't know, and you pass on that false or misleading information that you haven't checked out Or should I say you pass on the information that you have not even verified? But Coach King, you mean every book I have to verify? No, within reason, not every book. I mean, for example, you have the scientists who write books and say the sun is X number of million miles away from the Earth. Plato, the moon, scientific evidence has been confirmed by people with extensive background. You see, those, even the court of law accept the fact that it's called esta- they accept the fact that the moon is X number of distance from the Earth. You don't have to prove anything. It's accepted. You just have to make sure that you're quoting the correct distance according to the scientists. They're not going to question you on that. But if someone comes and tell you, "Oh, I heard someone say something," or those people in 1830s or 1930s or 1940s or 30s or 18, they didn't do so and so. They should have educated the people. Educated what? Look at the context. What was there at the time? What type of issues existed at the time? That's what you should be looking at. Yeah. The more and more you look at those issues of the time, the more and more it becomes more meaningful. So when you get up and talk to people, you're going to be talking facts, facts that you verify. Oh, but Coach King, how can I verify them? Go on the internet. You hear things on the internet, don't you? You read about it on the internet. So go back and verify things on the internet. You got all the money in the world to listen to people talk on the internet and listen to all type of things that they tell you, but you don't have time to sit there and go verify. It's your responsibility to go verify. And now we're coming back to those people who are in school. I know the challenges are great, but hey, who caused this? The people. The people got together and whatever reasons and actions they took, here we are today. So you see, every action there's an opposite reaction. Will cause an action to take place, there's a reaction to that. Something happens. I'm not saying the political awareness and the coup was good. I'm not saying that it was bad. But I want you to determine it. But you see, the majority of you young people who are just born, who are now 35, 40 years old, y'all were born during the wartime. So you never really knew anything about how Liberia was before the war. And the people that would tell you things won't tell you all the facts because they want to keep you in darkness. They want to keep you not knowing the facts. You see, so you can make up your mind, but they just keep you in darkness. So when they put a light in your era on the lamppost, the people say this the first time light been coming. Yeah, it's the first time since you've been born. But lights used to be in different places before, and we had power in Liberia. It showed electricity would go on and off, sometimes just like any other African country. Not that must be a reason, but it used to go up. But when it goes on, it comes back after a while. Bam, it comes back. Nightclubs was going on in Liberia. People were making business. The transportation, the buses that we had, man. Good 18, I think 20-seater buses used to go up and down different communities in the city, clean buses, the taxis. Mazda, Datsun taxis and Toyota taxis, clean. The drivers used to clean their cars, keep it smelling good, shiny, man. They took pride in shiny cars. They used to go to the local car wash. And I know about the local car wash because there was a local car wash right next to me on Rhino Street, opposite Conference School. The boys used to go there and wash cars with water, running water. Yes, running water. And they used to get paid. And those same boys who wash the car, you should see them on Broad Street go out with their girlfriends and things like that, dressed neat. Yes, dressed neat. Now, was everything perfect? Of course not. Nothing was perfect. United States, yeah, nothing perfect. But because nothing is perfect, it doesn't mean you can move toward perfection. There's always one step in life. Always one more step in life. And as you move and have your being and move and have your focus on what it is that you want, things can happen for you. You can be successful in life. But are you ready to take the plunge? Are you ready to take the first step? Now, how do you take the first step? If I say, who are you? You're gonna say, oh, my name is Fafley. If I say, what's your name? You say, oh, my name is Boyka. And say, what your name? You say, John Smoke. If I say, what your name? John King. But that's not who you are. It's just a name. Though when you came out, when you were born into this world, you weren't born as John King or Boyka. They gave you that name. So who are you? You see? If you don't know who you are and you don't know what place you come from, then you're lost. Some people can take advantage of you. Like what did some of you are having now, people taking advantage of you. I'm talking about women and men. Mhm. They're taking advantage of you because you don't know who you are. So they teach you what to think. They don't teach you how to think. They give you little things, they give you something and say, oh, we want you to believe what we say. You believe it. When you have a chat with Coach King and he puts you through one of his outreach programs on practical positive thinking with a growth mindset, he gives you something that once you plant, it grows. You see? It grows. But you have to learn to read. You have to learn to read and you must want to read. And you will read if you don't want to be led by the nose from now on. But if you want to be led by the nose, then don't read. Don't read. Just take what the people say. Take what they say. You'll be all right. For me, I will not just take what somebody says. I will read it. I will study it. I will look at it in this context. When you say to me, oh, the city wasn't laid out. They should have done this. They should have done that. They should have done the other. From what position in presence of mind are you speaking? You talk about what you know now. Okay. If you talk from what you know now, obviously I agree with you. The streets of Monrovia should have been laid out better. Based on what you know now. Based on what was existing at that and now, I would say, how can you use your knowledge that you've gained in the 20th, 21st century to talk about what should have been in the 18th century, 19th century? You can't. Because the thought process was not in the world at that time. So where you wanted them to get it from? Tell me. Tell me where you wanted to get it from. Whose country? You don't know Hitler was out there trying to get Liberia. Mhm. Did you know that the city of Monrovia was bombed by the Germans and told the leaders here in that administration at that time, and I'm purposely leaving out the dates. They told the leaders who will bomb your city or you take the flag down from Liberia and put up the German flag. You know what it is for the people at that time to say no? And you hear people talking about and disrespecting and talking bad about the people from the past who helped shape this country. And that included the Aborigines, if you want to call it, indigenous It includes the American Liberians, and it includes everybody that was dropped and picked up on the ship that were being sold into slavery by their own brothers and sisters, selling them into slavery. Yes, yes, they were captured and kept and returned and put and settled. Actually, not returned, but settled. So people coming on the high seas, the slave trips was intercepted, and the people were brought to Liberia. That's why you see all the different cultures that you see in Liberia. But you don't talk about it to other people. And the people who know about it don't say nothing. So those cultures that you see there, they came from all over parts of other parts of Africa. And no different than the American Liberians, the settlers who came back to Africa. They came back to the continent where their forefathers, their ancestors, had sold them into slavery. You don't want to hear that one, but you got to hear it in order to understand the context in which Liberia was formed. Mhm. Yes, you got to hear it. You see, Ghana, they hear it. The chiefs and all of the traditional chiefs got together and apologized to the Black Americans for selling them into slavery. That's why you see now Ghana is moving, growing with the Black American investors coming to Liberia. Mhm. But no, in Liberia, no, nobody won't apologize. The elders, the traditional chiefs cannot apologize. You said this man must apologize before this man. No. We ain't talking about this man apologize, we apologize, they apologize, you apologize. No. Culturally, who sold who into slavery? The people, our ancestors. Yes, our ancestors. So those chiefs and medicine men and traditional rulers who represent the culture from other countries coming into Liberia, they can act just and do just like how the Ghanaians did. Yes. Hmm. But I want you all to check out Ghana. Don't just take my word for it. Ask people questions, but ask people who know better than you. You can't ask the same person. You can't be on the same level of somebody and ask the same person question. You can't make it. You got to ask somebody who's more intelligent. And then when you get somebody who's more intelligent, you have to get someone who's more objective, who can be objective instead of being tribalistic. You have to find people like that. People who can stop being tribalist. And you got plenty of them in Liberia and outside Liberia. Or they'll talk a good talk. But when you listen to their sentences and words and attacks they make on people, the minute someone says something, right away, oh, you're a crew person, you don't know nothing. You're a bastard person, you know nothing. Or you're a conga man, you know nothing. Always playing the blame game. And they tell you all this, you youth, because you got nothing better to do. And you listen to them telling you and misleading you. You know, oftentimes you'll hear them say, "Oh, you cannot change history." Of course not. You cannot change history. You don't want to change history. Nobody wants to change history. But you need to get a better understanding of history. You need to get a better representation, a presentation, and knowledge of the true history. Now, what is the true history? Well, that's why you have to read. You have to read this person book by Tipote, this person book by Olubanke King Akirele, this person book by Teacher Guanu, Joseph C. Guanu, this person book by Famule, this person book by Patrick Burroughs, this person book by what's his name? Uh, oh, the author. Um, by Charles S. Johnson on bitter canna. You have to read those books and then compare what they say. And you will see the those books, which one of those are just tribalism. You will see it. You will see it for yourself because you read it. But no, you won't. You don't want to read. You don't got time to read. Yeah. So you let somebody else read it for you and tell you something what they read, and you say, yeah. But how you know is what they tell you is true if they get it from inside the book. They just hold the book in their hands and talk. I had one person I was talking with on the internet, and they were telling me something about the book, and they were telling me something that what was happening. And I asked the person to tell me the page. He couldn't tell me the page. He just said he read the book. So I went to the same book and I told him about the same page, not the same page. I quoted the page to him. The same book he had, and he was telling the people something different. I went to the book. Here's the book right here. Here's the book right here. And I went to the pages, and when I quote something, I quote from the pages and tell him the page number. See? I tell him the page number, and I talk about it. Then you don't hear from them again. They back off. They back off. They back off. They don't hear the program again. So this is what happens all the time. And people who people who do this expect they expect you to listen to them because you don't read. And if you don't read, how will you learn? How will you find out something better? So this is it. Now we have, I must mention that we have the executive director of the Practical Positive Thinkers with a Growth Mindset Group of Liberia, Mr. Prince Mabia. Welcome, Mr. Mabia. You have to turn on your mic.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so very much, Coach Kim, and very good evening to all of our listeners.
Hello.
I'm Prince. Yeah, I'm Prince N. Mambia, the Executive Director for Practical Positive Thinker with a Growth Mindset of Liberia.
Prince,
Thanks so much, Coach Kim. And how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Prince. I'm doing fine indeed. Prince, tell me some of the questions that people have been asking you so I can answer them. They may be listening or maybe not, I don't know. But if they play back later, they will hear. But tell me some of the questions that they have been asking you, and then if you want me to answer some of the questions for them.
Okay,
Just
thanks so
tell me.
much for this program again. Chat with Coach Kim on YouTube. Thanks for the opportunity given me. Some of the questions that our graduate when asked me is that this program impact a lot in their life. How can this implement this? And then
Well,
some, yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead.
some have been asking me how can this implement this because the policy and the thought of this is that having the knowledge not to go and then like share it with someone else to go and then based on that anything going out there, I strongly believe that let to go and then conduct any training or to pass on to this that had to be to your knowledge as a trainer that you will be able to guide them to see how best we get a positive outcome of it. So
Well,
some have been, yeah, some
that's
have been,
okay. Let me
okay,
ask. Let me answer the first one.
yeah,
First of all, the first question is how can they make people who want to use the method, the training that we get, how they can use it in their everyday life, correct?
okay,
All right. First of all, who are you? Look and talk. Wait a minute. You have to ask yourself these questions. Who are you? If you don't know who you are, and that's what I talked about earlier, if you don't know who you are, then you can be swayed back and forth. You're not standing on solid ground. Oh, who are you? My name is Charles King. Who are you? My name is Prince Mabia. No, you are not
can you please
Prince
wait?
Mabia.
Let me. I will get right back to you within a second. I want to quiet the noise down because there are other who trying to interrupt. Yes.
All right. Okay, well, uh, listeners, while we're waiting, you can still type in your comments. Those of you who are listening, go to YouTube, or if you're already there, just type in your question. I can see it. Go to the screen and just type in your comment. I can see it and I will answer you. Okay? I will answer you. We'll wait a little bit. For those people, again, who want to know, this is something that you bring into your everyday life. You bring this into your everyday life and you make use of it. It's not something that you use only now and again. For example, the air you breathe, do you only breathe it now and again? You breathe it every day. If you look at gravity, you say, okay, tomorrow I'm not going to use gravity, or today I will use gravity. You use gravity every day. It's around you. It's something natural that you do every day. If you didn't have gravity, we would all be floating all over the world. All over the place would be floating. Everything would be floating. Gravity is what helps keep us to this earth field here. So it's not something where you can not use it. You are using this concept every day, but you're using it in the wrong way. It's simple as that. You're using it in the wrong way. So you want to know how to use something. And so therefore you're using it in the wrong way. That's how you keep on. I've already answered the first question. Prince, while you were away. Now you can still hear me, right? Can you still hear me? Your mic is off. You have to turn on your mic. Turn on your mic. There you go. Can you hear me? No, I can't hear you. So go back out again and come back. Log log out and come back. Log out and come back. Go out and come back again. I will, I will let you in. So as we're waiting for Prince to get back on, he probably has having some problem with his connection. So as I mentioned before, we have what about 10 more minutes now before 12 o'clock. So my whole purpose here is to keep you informed and help you learn how to think, not what to think. I see ED. Is that you, Prince? Your microphone is off. Prince is still having some problems coming back into the studio. I don't know why. Prince, you can hear me now. Turn on your mic. Your mic is off. Turn on your mic. You can hear me? I can't hear you though, but you can hear me. If you can hear me, put your thumbs up. If you can hear me, fine. But I can't hear you. I don't know why. So it's completely up to you. Your mic is off again. Okay, I don't know what's wrong. Ed, you will have to solve it on your end. There's nothing I can do. I'm just gonna go on talking about the second thing. And those of you who are practical positive thinker graduate, uh, I will be having talks for you all to demonstrate to you the method. But yes, we're going to work on a not-for-profit organization, and I'm working towards this already. You all will have to go out now and share what you learn to others. But you see, if you don't practice, as I mentioned, the concepts, then how can you teach others? I spoke about that in the alumni page. So go to the alumni page, those former graduates, and listen to what I said. That I won't discuss that situation here. But those of you who are listening uh, on the internet, on YouTube, type in your questions right on the just click ask a question or click on text and send me your questions. I'd be happy to answer them if I can. Okay. So, any other questions anyone might have? I'm still available and I'll still be talking. So, what's going on in your life? You have a bad relationship with your wife or with the wife to her husband. You are not getting any business going. Your grades are going down. Your teacher's not teaching properly. You don't have any more interest in school. You don't have a job. You don't have a source of income. You're living from hand to mouth. Well, these are all challenges. And each person has different challenges in life. You know, a lot of people will say that somebody was lucky to be born in a rich family. Some people will say, oh, bad to be born in a poor family. But you see, if you criticize for the condition you were born in, then you're criticizing God for what family you were born in. That is not my choice. It wasn't your choice. But there's a gentleman, Mr. Abraham Pelham. He was born with, I think he had polio. He has polio or some other illness that he has that made him unable to have the same walk as those normal uh, people who are born with very strong legs and all that. I'm not going to the details, I'm talking very practical here. But he, in Liberia, used to sew dresses for women, different type of cloths, fancy cloth, linen cloth, all kinds of styles he used to make, and sew for the Liberian people right in Liberia, many moons ago. And now he was in a wheelchair at that time. He had not a normal childbirth, but today he's the most sought after. This they call him courtiers, or should I say, courtiers. I may even be pronouncing it wrong, but I'll just say he's a female dress creator and designer. Very famous in Europe, but he didn't take his physical condition and say, "Oh my God, I can't do nothing." No. "Oh my God, why was I born?" No. He took what he had and he converted all of that into something positive for himself, and he's making a living. The ED was talking recently about people who throw stones instead of throwing the stones back at them, pick up the stones and build your house. Now, of course, he wasn't telling about picking physical stone. He was using that as an example. And someone wrote back to him and said, well, there are some stones that are no good. So you can't use it for anything good. So I answered the person. I said, well, your presence of mind, how you view things, whatever is thrown at you, you can take it positive or negative. If you take it positive, you can see how you can turn that into gold, turn that into a way to build a future for yourself, and to build something lasting that you can help support yourself with. Now, he was just using that as an example uh, to talk, and I'm keeping this very basic so everybody can understand. You know, you all can do much more for your lives. You can do much more for your lives, but it's just that you don't know who you are. You don't know the powers that you have within you. You don't know the strength that you have within you. And you don't know the power of your mind as yet because you don't know who you are. If you knew who you are, you would understand the power of the mind that you have. Get you anything you want. But no, I don't want to get anything I want. I want to fight. I want to take guns. I want to go after my people in the villages with my gun to show my power. Many of you have seen for yourself. People fighting in one era, the soldier come to your village, got no guns, nothing to come harass you. Mm-hmm. They don't take the trouble to where the other people got the guns shooting, but they bring it to your village and use gun. Oh, yeah, I got gun. As though the gun is the one that makes them powerful. Take the gun from them. Take the knives from them. They can't do nothing. So you see, they use that type of approach to you because they know you don't have the presence of mind. The mind. You don't have the presence of mind to use it. If you knew who you were, you would use it. But you don't. So anything they tell you, say yeah. Anything they tell you, say yeah. So when you tell them, they say what? You tell them anything black, they say black. You tell them white, white. And when you look at it later on, it's not black and it's not white. Colors. So keep in mind this issue that we're talking about. It is important. It is important for you to understand you have the power within you to do much more than you think you can do. I just have 2 minutes left. Nobody has written anything. It's quite all right. Maybe when you play this back, you will hear it. When you click on it, you will hear it. But do please listen to it. So I'm sure you will like it. It will answer some of your questions. If you are interested in hearing more, leave a comment when you sign on to YouTube. Okay, leave a comment, and we'll be able to really do the best we can to answer your questions. Okay. Any more questions? The ED has some problem. The ED has some problems. Logging on, I guess he's still having a problem. Last questions, anybody? No questions? Okay, it was so nice. It was so nice speaking with you all today. It's about 1 minute to 12. I only gave you all for an hour. Next time we'll probably start at 10 o'clock. But to give you a little bit more time to get ready for bed for the next day, okay? Once again, let me know. Log on, leave me your comments, and then I'll pick it up during the next broadcast the following week. Okay? So thank you, one and all. ED, I'm sorry you couldn't stay on for the remainder of the program as actually into our studio. But if you are able to hear it without signing in, then that's all the more reasons why I should tell you thank you. Bye bye to all. Have a pleasant rest of the week. Thank you.